This is a question I've been asked a few times, most recently by my friend Sally, who had been asked to become a trustee for a local arts organisation. I realised that although most people know what a trustee is and a bit about what they do, there's less of an understanding about the responsibilities of a trustee. There's also a fear around liability. In other words, if something goes wrong, could I be blamed? So I'll try to answer some of these questions and talk a bit more about the role of a trustee, and then I can signpost you to some other helpful resources if you need to know more. I'll also include a link below to my workbook, which outlines all the different legal structures of not-for-profit organisations if you're either looking to start one or to join one as a volunteer or trustee. What is a trustee? Well, according to the Charity Commission for England and Wales, trustees have independent control over and legal responsibility for a charity's management and administration. In other words, trustees decide how a charity is run and lead it to ensure that everything is carried out correctly. Trustees operate within two sets of formal rules, so there'll be the governing document, that's the constitution, trust deed, memorandum and articles of association, and of course the law, such as the Trustee Act. Who can be a trustee? Well, trustees of a charitable company or a charitable incorporated organisation, a CIO, must be at least 16 years old. But for all other types of not-for-profit organisations, trustees must be at least 18. There are a few reasons that you might not qualify to be a trustee, so check these out before you apply. How are trustees recruited or elected? Well, the way that trustees are appointed depends on the instructions set out in the charity's governing documents. So this will set out who appoints new trustees, when and how new trustees are appointed, how long their appointments will last, and how trustees can resign or be asked to leave. Charities will often advertise for trustees, often specifying particular skills and expertise that they're looking for, or key roles on the board that they're looking to fill. What are the duties of a trustee? One of the biggest questions people have before committing to this role is, what will be my responsibilities as a trustee? Well, again, according to the Charity Commission, trustees have 6 main duties. To ensure that your charity is carrying out its purposes for the public benefit, you and your co-trustees must make sure that the charity is carrying out the purposes for which it's set up and no other purposes. This means you should ensure to understand the charity's purpose as set out in its governing document, plan what the charity will do and what it wants to achieve, be able to explain how all the charity's activities are intended to further or support its purposes, and understand how the charity benefits the public. So you and your co-trustees must make sure that the charity complies with its governing document as well as with charity law. Act in your charity's best interests. You must do what you and your co-trustees decide will best enable the charity to carry out its purposes, to make balanced and adequately informed decisions thinking about the long term, to avoid putting yourself in a position where your duty to your charity conflicts with your personal interests. Manage your charity's resources responsibly. You must act responsibly, reasonably and honestly. This is sometimes called the duty of prudence, which is about exercising sound judgment. You must make sure that the charity assets are only used to support or carry out its purposes, to not take inappropriate risks with the charity's assets or reputation, not to overcommit the charity, to take special care when investing or borrowing, and comply with any restrictions on spending funds, to act with reasonable care and skill. So you must make use of your skills and experience and take appropriate advice when necessary. You should be able to give enough time, thought and energy to your role by preparing for, attending and actively participating in all the trustees' meetings. Ensure your charity is accountable. You should be able to demonstrate that your charity is complying with the law, well run and effective. Do all trustees have the same role? In essence, yes, all trustees have the same role and duties. These duties should be set out in your organisation's constitution or governing document. All trustees are jointly and equally responsible for the charity. However, there are often additional responsibilities for some trustees. For example, the treasurer ensures that the charity is keeping accurate accounts and oversees financial performance. The chair usually plans and runs trustee meetings, ensures trustees are undertaking their responsibilities, and is the line manager of the charity's chief executive. What skills does a trustee need to have? All trustees will bring their unique combination of skills and experience to the role. it's likely they've been recruited on the basis of their expertise and willingness to share that to advance the objectives of the charity. These skills could range from legal, financial, management, fundraising and safeguarding to specific knowledge or qualifications in the area that the charity works in, such as education, social welfare or healthcare. Overall, it's important that the trustees have both some knowledge and a keen interest in that charity's cause and in the people or communities it serves. As a trustee, can I be held liable? According to the Charity Commission, it's extremely rare but not impossible for charity trustees to be held personally liable. However, they could potentially be held liable for financial loss or a claim against the charity, such as breaches of an employee's terms and conditions or failing to pay for goods or services, or a member of the public being injured on the charity's premises. There's more information in the article that I'll link to below, which gives you some guidance on how to reduce the risk of becoming personally liable. Does a trustee get paid? A trustee is a voluntary role, so no, they don't get paid. However, most charities will allow trustees to be reimbursed for travel and any other out-of-pocket expenses. What are the benefits of becoming a trustee? Most people will become trustees of a charity that they care greatly about. The charity might be working to target a specific issue such as homelessness, unemployment or poverty. Being a trustee can make you feel like you're part of the solution, fighting for justice. For many, it can be a rewarding next step in their career, whether early on to gain some diverse experience, or in retirement as a way of continuing to use those much needed skills that they've acquired. It's worth noting though that there is an element of time commitment that must be taken into account before making that decision to become a trustee. The meetings could be monthly or quarterly, but it's likely that there'll be other actions and tasks delegated to you in between those meetings. Make sure you have the time and energy to dedicate to the role, because even though it's unpaid, it is a privilege and a legal responsibility once you're appointed. There's a link below to the full article, where there's lots more helpful resources if you need to know more about becoming a trustee. Guidance and inspiration for turning your ideas into impact and making a difference in your community. For more information, go to rachelisland.co.uk.